When the OAU was created and the African Development was created, there were just about 28 independent African countries. What were in the minds of the founding fathers? One was the independence and self-determination of all the peoples of Africa. The second thing was unity in Africa. And the third thing was development.
The African Development Bank is 50 years old in 2014. 50 years serving Africa. It has been true to the ideals of its founding fathers, strong and steadfast in the pursuit of its twin goals, of fighting poverty and of promoting sustainable economic growth on this continent. The African Development Bank has established itself as Africa's leading development finance institution. From an initial capital base of $250 million to now one of $100 billion. The bank enjoys a AAA credit rating on the international capital markets. In only half a century, the African Development Bank has mobilized and invested more than $100 billion in critical sectors of the African economy. Building infrastructure, road, rail, air, maritime, energy, telecommunications. Supporting agriculture and industry. Building both the hardware and the software of regional economic integration. Investing in the African private sector. Building institutions and supporting governance and accountability. Developing human capital through health and education, skills and technology. The bank is bettering the lives of the people of Africa. In the last 2 years alone, 8 million Africans have benefited from new electricity connections through the bank's work. 34 million Africans have benefited from improved access to transport. 14 million Africans have benefited from new or improved access to water and sanitation. 27 million Africans have benefited from access to better health services. The bank works in countries larger and smaller, richer and poorer, and above all where it is needed most, in the most fragile countries and with the most vulnerable people. The bank gets close to its clients, to African governments and to African peoples, and has offices in more than 30 countries. Over the years, the bank has adapted and evolved. In the 1970s, it introduced concessionary, low-interest loans with long repayment periods specifically for poorer countries. In the 1980s, it widened its membership and its capital base by including non-African countries. In the 1990s, the bank began lending to and developing the African private sector. In the 2000s, the bank deepened its work in fragile states and significantly increased its lending in the wake of the global financial crisis. And for the decades to come, going forward, the bank sets out on a path to promote growth that is not just strong, but growth which is truly shared and truly sustainable. The bank's quest for inclusive growth spans age, gender, and geography. It is for all. Women especially are at the heart of its vision, not just establishing rights, but unleashing economic potential. Young people too are central to its work. They are the future. Meanwhile, the bank's quest for green growth builds resilience against natural disaster. It makes the best possible use of Africa's immense natural resources. And it builds sustainable infrastructure. The bank is more than just a bank. It is a knowledge institution, developing and disseminating best practice. It is an advocate. It is a catalyst. And it is a vital force in unlocking and multiplying others' funds. Africa is managing and financing its own development destiny. And Africa's bank is at the center of Africa's transformation. The African Development Bank, 50 years old in 2014. 50 years serving Africa.